This is the What's Next podcast, Houston's #1 platform where I invite creatives to share their journeys and give us a depiction of their visions. Most importantly, the last question I'll ask is, what's next?
I thought you was it.
Houston, Texas, man. Houston, Texas. She's back. Oh, you said tap your leg. Oh,
Yeah, so I can do it for you.
My bad. Houston, Texas. Houston, Texas. Welcome back to the 90th edition of the What's Next podcast, a production of Still Visionary Inc. 90. This is a creative story. That's a tagline, right?
Okay.
That's a tagline. This a creative story. So I said this is a creative story.
Got you.
That's a tagline.
Okay.
Okay. 45 episodes later.
Wow.
45 episodes later.
Okay.
And here you are.
Here I am.
I thought you wanted to.
That was.
Okay. Houston, Texas.
That was
welcome
organic.
back
I can't force this one. I'm sorry.
Welcome back to the 90th episode, the
Okay.
90th edition of the What's Next podcast, a production of Still Visionary Inc. Before we get started with the episode, I think we should introduce our social media handles so we don't disrupt the flow of the conversation when we get to that point.
I thought I was supposed to do that.
I just said that.
No, I thought you wanted me to do.
Baby, you got to talk into the mic.
I am.
Okay, you got to wheel your body around and get right back to the center of it.
Okay.
Go ahead. Oh, excuse me. Jesus.
I thought I was supposed to do. This is the What's Next podcast.
Go ahead.
Why I invite creatives to talk about their journeys.
Okay.
And before we interrupt, no, I'm joking. I had it down
Watch the
earlier. I think I
table.
done got
Watch the
nervous.
table.
I done got nervous. Okay.
I
I'm gonna let
told
you do your
when
thing.
when them lights come on, it get a little hot.
You're right. You're right.
Okay, so we're gonna introduce our social media handles, or
Oh
what?
man, I really don't know.
You want to look in your phone? It's right there.
Can you tell the people? Okay, hold on.
Okay, listen. Let me. Babe, hold on. Okay.
Okay, I'm tripping. Okay, start over.
Start over. What? We going.
I clearly I don't have podcast etiquette.
Okay, so
Good podcast etiquette.
okay, so I mean, this is what your 4th time on the podcast.
Is it 4?
Yeah, you did the What's Next podcast last year.
Right.
Okay, and then what else? And then you're doing it this year,
Right.
right? So yeah,
Okay.
you should know by now. But we're gonna introduce our social media handles or not?
You can follow me on Facebook at Kizzie Farmer, and then on Instagram as Kizzo.
Can you spell that? Because that's not easy to find or enunciate or spell. Spell it.
Kizzo.
Yeah.
Kizzoe.
Okay, and my name is John Ross Dike the First, and you can follow me on Instagram and on Twitter at John Ross Dike and still_visionary. If you would, connect with me on LinkedIn, subscribe to my YouTube channel, like my fan page on Facebook, and visit my website at stillvisionary.com. For everybody listening to this podcast, that's stillvisionary.com. Directly in front of you, I have all my paraphernalia that I sell on this podcast and out the trunk of my car. And you can shop stillvisionary.com/merch.
Well, you know what? I'm not mad at you because I remember a couple of years back, I went out with a couple of friends who were from Atlanta, and they said that's what T.I. did, was selling his CDs out the trunk of his car. So
Luda too.
yeah. So I guess, hey,
Yeah.
it works.
45 episodes later, here you are. Round of applause for you.
Oh,
Listen, it's a whole different setup. You see them levels? I can control the levels and
Okay,
everything.
okay.
You're different from last year.
I see.
Okay?
With the soundboard.
Yeah. Hold on. Don't give it away like
My
that.
bad,
Jesus.
my bad.
Don't give it away like that. So, how are you? What's going on?
I'm well. chilling, getting ready for this election tomorrow.
Okay, on the eve.
Yeah, the eve of the election. You see, I came prepared.
Okay. So it's no secret who you're endorsing.
Absolutely.
It is a secret, or
it's not a secret. It's not a secret. You said that there's no secret, and I said
it's not a secret who you're endorsing.
And I said absolutely.
So that means that
I'm in agreement with you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. So it is not a secret.
It is not a secret.
Okay. All right.
This is a serious matter.
So you've already voted.
I have.
You're not gonna wait till the 3rd.
No, I've already voted.
Yeah, good.
Cast my ballot.
Listen, you shouldn't wait for the 3rd because guess what drops on the 3rd?
Well, now you have to vote on the 3rd.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's no ifs, ands, buts about it. If you have not voted, you need to go out and vote on the 3rd.
Facts.
So I think also you need to go wherever you're registered. You know, with the what is it called before the election? Early voting. You can go to any polling place. But I think that once November 3rd comes, you have to go to whatever polling place you have been assigned to. I believe so.
Listen, you should have already voted already because November 3rd, this episode drops at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. So
I got you.
Oh, you said tap the leg.
Don't.
Okay, so
put a stop right. I cut that off.
Oh, no. Hold on. I ain't gonna cut that off.
I got you.
Yeah. So on the eve of what was I saying? On the eve of election. Okay, we're here in our humble abode. The first house that we closed on together.
Absolutely.
Right, and I thought that 45 episodes later, like I said last year, I want to try to bring you on at the end of the year, right? So it's a little earlier than expected, but we got a full plethora of episodes we're dropping in December. So I wanted to start off the month of Thanksgiving sitting next to my lovely wife.
Okay.
Oh, this is where we kiss. Okay, so listen, and you know, I've tried to prep people. You know,
this seat is uncomfortable.
Jesus, oh my God!
I want to sit back.
Oh my God!
Is it possible? Can you still hear me?
Yeah, baby, you got to slide up to the microphone.
Well, okay, let's go.
That's why I said that stool was better. Lean
I
back.
want to slouch.
No, don't slouch. You can't slouch.
I know my back is hurting.
Oh my God!
I got a cramp.
Do you want to take a break?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead. Take the break.
I don't know what to do.
Oh my God! All right, so we're back. So like I was saying, I came up with a few new segments that kind of carry along the conversation.
Okay.
Right, and okay, let's start here. If you could define yourself with one word, what would that be? And I also want you to kind of open up the floor for me too. You know?
Okay.
Go ahead. What one word would that be?
Ooh. I'm trying to think. I think I'm pretty chill. You disagree?
That's the word that describes that you're gonna use to describe yourself. Chill.
Yeah, I can't think of nothing else like you. Chill.
Okay.
Like,
okay.
What do you ask me every time? Hey, what are you doing? What do I say?
Either you sleep or
you're a hater.
Either you sleep.
You're a hater. Chilling.
Okay.
Okay. So that's the one word I want to define me. I'm chill. Like, you know, I'm in a good place in my life right now where just chilling.
Okay.
Yeah. What about you?
You know, I've been thinking about that word the longest, ever since I started talking about.
How unfair is that you get an opportunity to think about the word that describes you, but you gon' hit me all of a sudden? And then you get a kind of, not upset, but you kind of like, is that the word?
Well, maybe you didn't catch the last episode.
Ouch. Ouch.
It's okay.
Well, it's okay. I fell into that.
It's okay.
Oh.
Listen, but the word I was listen, I promise you it's not gonna be this long, you should text. We're just vibing. This is episode 90, and I couldn't think of a better person to bring and sit and talk to than my lovely wife. But the word that I've been thinking about since I've been asking that question.
Okay.
Or since I've been trying to get the insight from the creative about that question, is for me, I would say undiscovered.
Okay. Okay.
I just feel that, despite what people might say, I think I have a great product.
Okay.
I think that what often goes undiscovered is the journey that you take to get to the millions, to get to the acclaim. It's undiscovered. And for me, I've always thought about what that looks like in various forms.
Okay.
With various people.
Okay. So you just stated something that I kind of want to dig into. Okay. You said, despite what people say. Right. What is some of the feedback that you're getting? Not necessarily from me, but from others.
The air horn is one.
Ooh.
The air horn is one. But I just feel like it adds flavor. I feel like it adds flavor. It's sometimes you have to, like, if somebody gives a nugget and it's just one of those gems, like it's just like, damn, that hit so hard. I feel like it just adds flavor to it, but it can be excessive.
That's the point.
Okay, like it can be excessive.
And the thing that I've tried to get you to understand is that what is flavor for you sometimes is not flavor for others. And so. With that being said, it's nothing wrong with the air horns because on some of the hottest hits, you hear the air horns. Right. But it's done in an appropriate way, in a tasteful way. And sometimes it's just like excessive to the point to where me personally, I've tuned out the entire interview or the entire podcast. Conversation. Okay. Because every 2 words, it's
no, it's not every 2 words. Now, listen. First of all, this is how I want to. If
somebody is dropping gems, in your opinion, you are air horn. It's like
listen. Now, look.
See, my bad. See? It's.
Thank you. Thank you. Listen,
I'm gonna show you how it sounds. Keep going. Talk to me.
Here it is.
Okay, talk to me.
Don't do that now because you didn't hit the wrong.
I know which one to hit now.
Okay, so here it is though. Okay, are you ready? Because. Wait a minute! You keep hitting the table.
Okay,
you got to relax. Okay,
I just want you to relax.
I've already acknowledged it. But listen, if you go into 10 people's households right now,
that's when you would do
everybody. No, I have not even made a point yet. Everybody has Tony Chachere's in their cupboard. Okay. Right. And no matter what it is, I said it's flavor and it's seasoning, right? Everybody puts a little Tony Chachere's on everything. Okay. Right or wrong. So I would say that the air horn is more like the Tony Chachere's.
No, your air horn is more like garlic salt when it should be garlic powder. And then you bite into it and it's just like, God damn, this is salty. Like, yours is like gumbo without no filet.
That's wrong.
No,
I wouldn't say that.
No, okay. Do that. I think the best analogy was the garlic salt.
Some people like their food salty.
And then they got high blood pressure.
Not everybody has high blood pressure.
If they eating salty ass food, they have high blood pressure. I'm sorry. Or okay. if they're not, they're pre-hypertensive or they're on some type of medication.
Listen, when I upgraded the sound system in episode 56, which is now streaming on my website, stillvisionary.com.
Check it out.
Right. I was in the episode that I did with Pierre, Bloodshed, I was overly excessive with that. Overly. Every other word was the air horn. I get that, right? And so I've calmed down since then, I believe. I know, right? Another critique is the length of time. Okay. But, I just don't, I think that sometimes with conversations, you want to kind of structure them and get the meat of the conversation, get the points. But sometimes you can't rush it. Because what I found with this creative thing or this creative journey is that you often go back and revise. And even in those revisions, you sometimes have points in your revising where you're just like, you kind of lose train of thought. And sometimes in a conversation, although it's one-on-one, one-on-three, whatever, it's direct, sometimes you get to a point where you're talking about one thing and then boom, you're hit with something that helped you and is tangible to that one thing you were talking about. So I just allow people to go to that point.
So I think that if time has been an issue, I think that maybe you should have part 1, part 2, because for a person like me, I really just can't get into people just talking. Like I know one
So
time,
you're not big on podcasts.
No, I know one time that we were driving from Lake Charles, and you listened to the whole Joe Budden podcast. And apparently I was like, yo, how long are we going to listen to this? And you was like, oh, sometimes it runs 2 hours. And I'm just thinking, who has time to sit and listen to somebody 2 hours when they either, one, are creatives, or two, I mean, you just have other things to do in 2 hours.
Not when you're driving, though.
That's driving. But clearly some people are listening to this podcast all the time. So my thing is, for an individual like myself who wouldn't mind listening to what you have to say to support you just on GP, I start to lose concentration, and I start to kind of fidget and want to go to the next thing. To me, podcasting is not like music. Like a good playlist, I can listen to it all day. Like I clean, study, just vibe to it. But podcasts, you gotta really just like pay attention to what somebody's saying. And for me, probably around the 20-minute mark, I'm thinking like, okay, wrap this up.
Well, that's why I kind of moved a segment of my podcast, which I'll ask you in a second. I moved a segment of my podcast up, but I think on the contrary, I think that podcasting allows allows a space that radio doesn't. With radio, especially if you're nationally syndicated like 93.7, right?
Okay.
You can't come on there and aimlessly promote or everything comes with a budget, right? And I'm not speaking on something that I know per se for a fact because I've been on radio. I just know that you can tell by the songs that they play. They play the same 4 to 5 songs every hour on the hour. And, for those people that are getting their songs played, then it's parquet for them.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But for the people that are not and are trying to get to radio to maybe even get a slot, it kind of gets to the point where it's just like, how do I fit in?
Well, now you're confusing me because it seemed like you're talking about getting plays, and that is music-wise, but a podcast is just where two people are conversing. So here's the deal. I think that you are absolutely right when it comes to syndicated shows. But for the most part, podcasting, there is an avenue for it,
right?
Because so many people are moving into the genre or the field of entrepreneurship. And so therefore, individuals who have something to say, individuals who, journeyed that path, I think that podcasting would be essential to be able to get their message out, right, as far as what they're. So there is a avenue, and there is a population, and there is a audience for podcasting.
Right.
I think that it's just a matter of, would I rather listen to a podcast or read a book about it?
Well, I don't. The only reason why I think I brought up radio was not contradict, but to bring another side to your point about, you said something about podcasting is not like music. A good playlist you can listen to forever and ever and ever for as long as it is.
Correct.
And so I was just coming in saying that the avenue of podcasting allows people to bring authentic opinions, authentic conversations out that you don't really have in radio, because with radio, sometimes you can't hit certain points because of what the label may do for you, and everybody doesn't have access to be on radio.
I slightly disagree, because there is such thing as talk radio.
Yeah, but podcasting is the average man's thing.
Okay.
To get on talk radio, it's a whole different ballgame.
Well, let me say this. Let me not sound like I am well versed in podcasting radio. Like let me not act like it. I just know what works for me.
Right.
And for me, I would listen to about a good 20, 30 minutes, and then after that, I'm ready to put on some good music
Right.
and zone out.
Right.
So if that's one thing that people are saying about your podcast, maybe you can do a part 1, part 2. You can actually film and record, but then hey, it's a follow up.
I think,
and that way.
I think with creativity also, especially when you haven't made it, I think people that are more accessible to you get to give you opinions that you don't necessarily ask for.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Because I know I've given mine plenty of times.
But you're different.
But you never asked for it.
But you're my wife.
I fit that category. You don't be
What do you think people should take from our conversation today or this episode?
Well, for me, I think that right now I don't think we've dug into anything significant. I just think that, if you are pursuing something and you may not be getting the reception or perception that you want back, continue to go, because you're at episode 90. And despite all the critiques from me and maybe even your other friends, you keep pushing. So one thing I realized,
air horn.
Oh, my bad. You got to hit the leg. You got to hit the leg so I can get it done. So one thing I learned from a conversation, just listening to you and your siblings, just drop gems, is that Terry stated that, the number one key is consistency. And at first I was like, no, it's this, it's that. But to be honest, like, it is consistency. So if anybody can take just from this little piece that we're talking about as far as with your podcast, I would say be consistent, continue to go. And so many stories we've heard about, people who are successful and they persisted no matter what. In the face of adversity, they continued to go. So therefore, if you're out there and you're doing something that may not be the flavor of the week, don't necessarily worry about it. Be genuine to who you are. And I think I remember one time I had my own personal revelation about you when we were talking about the podcast, because the podcast has been the center of many arguments. Just to say. But
Houston.
I'm being completely
Gotta
honest.
keep it real, man.
And let me put a nugget here, and then I'm gonna get back to what I was gonna say. The difference between you and I is that you are a creative. You desire to create things and put things together. Me personally, I just want to have a task, do it, and get it done. Not necessarily worried about how it was formed or initiating or being the brain behind it. So I think that once I realized that you are an artist and that you are sensitive about your shit.
Shout out to Badu.
That was the most profound statement that I've ever heard from anybody who creates anything. And I had to have that revelation about you, because all these critiques coming in, you was just taking them so personal. And I was like, yo,
oh my
why
God.
are you being so I was like, yo, why are you being so personal? I'm just trying to critique and trying to help you get to, and you was just and then it just went off like a light. Yo, you are an artist, and artists are sensitive, and I have tried to be more respectable and more understanding that this is a craft. This is this is what you do. So,
you know what? I look at it like this, and the word I was looking for earlier was counter. I look at it like this. I went to the football game this past weekend. I didn't necessarily walk in. I just stood out there, after the volleyball game. And I understand what the athletes are going through this year in their season, because when we were seniors at Booker T. Washington High School in the High School for Engineering for Professions, class of 2003, shout out.
Deal.
We lost every baseball game.
Damn. I didn't think that's what you was going.
We lost every baseball game my senior year in high school.
Okay, we won one.
Right.
2 maybe.
Softball.
We beat JY.
We beat Cashmere. I think we lost the Yates.
Listen, we was out there looking trash together, but hey, we got a W. But
but
side note,
hold on,
I was pretty. No.
Let me finish.
Side
Let me
point.
finish.
I was pretty official in softball.
Softball. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay. I'm not gonna take that from you.
Okay.
You know you come from a family of athletes.
Yeah.
So do I.
Yeah.
So to finish off what I was saying, right? I know what it's like.
Oh, this chair better not break.
Oh Lord, I know what it's like to be on the losing side of things.
Okay.
And because you're losing, you don't have people come to support you. And sometimes, even when you're losing, you just will like 2 or 3 fans there. Your mom, your dad, you know, your brothers. If you're gonna lose, forget about losing. Now it's all about, can you continue to come back and play despite the fact of losing?
Right.
And I parallel that to what it is, you know, for a creative. You're talking about a creative. I'm sensitive about my stuff, which is true. I'm not gonna lie about that, right? But
super sensitive.
oh my God, oh Lord, do we need to go on commercial break? I'm lying.
No, we telling the truth. Super sensitive.
But I mean, the way, you know, you still need, with all the critiques.
Right.
The critiques are like the losses.
Right.
Right. You still need people that, you know what? See, people don't understand it's a part-time job. If you know a creative, it's not just like, oh, he dropped. No, it's almost like you're almost in the ship with that person.
Okay.
So if that person is dropping and they're as consistent as, i.e., a musician or myself or whatever, you know, it don't just stop with that one time. And even if it's not your flavor, you don't know if it's a flavor for somebody else.
True. So let me state this, because I remember texting my girls, Dawn and Jamie.
Shout out to my people.
Yeah.
Man. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Jamie and Dawn.
Yes.
Love y'all. Love y'all.
Yeah. So I remember talking to them, and I was telling them that I said something about just learning from these L's, but just taking these L's. But the L's weren't necessarily losses, they were lessons.
Right.
And I think there's a rapper out there who said, taking my L's and my lessons. Some.
Who is that?
Is it Drake or is it?
Oh my God.
Listen, is it Drake or is it what's the kid from Chicago?
You talking about Chance the Rapper?
Yeah, somebody said something about take their L's and turn them into lessons, and so pretty much that's what I believe. And that's how it kind of has been my little mantra for the last couple of maybe 2 months, because just took some quote unquote air quote L's, but it's all in how you think about it. It's all in how you perceive it.
No doubt.
And to be honest, those L's have catapulted me to the level that I am at now, as far as just mentally. Like, I realize a lot of things is not necessarily where you're actually physically going, but just how you're growing. And so therefore, and my encouragement to you is that don't necessarily call them L's, just call them lessons. Now, what you was doing on the baseball team, that was them was some losses, you know. Them went down in the stats. But as far as
but that Cashmere game though, we got one game.
Y'all got a W.
Yeah, we got a W. We beat them 4-0.
Ooh, y'all got some 4 runs.
You know what, I'm talking about your etiquette on the podcast, but this is the second time I've done that. Excuse me.
That's what happened when you with me. Like, you just lose all etiquette.
Nah, this is
no,
what
you
I
got
do.
it. Okay,
I ain't gonna do that again.
But yeah, so and then I had another point, but I see what you said as far as there's a point that you talk about and then you forget it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so sometimes conversations come like that because you're building from all different directions. But anyway, listen, I've taken that critique and I've said to myself, sometimes I look at the board and I'm just like, okay, we're getting to 45 minutes and
still ain't got to the meat of it.
Well, no, we've got to the meat, because that's why I moved the what should people take to the beginning, because that lets you know where that person's mind frame is at, right? Mm-hmm. And so you've already said the meat. So if somebody's just like, yo, you know what? Boom, I'm done with it. Cool, they got it. Mm-hmm. They got the fact of, hey, keep going. Mm-hmm. No matter what, just keep going. Which is
what I would like for those who do listen to your podcast, just give some feedback, whether it's through email, through direct Twitter, through posting comments on the actual post. Just give them some feedback, because one thing that we've discussed is podcasting is definitely one of those things that the populace has to like it, you know? And so therefore, with people moving into entrepreneurship, and let me put another pin right here.
Why do you keep saying entrepreneurship for podcasting? Why do you keep saying that?
Well, because your podcast is about creatives. And so most creatives are owning their own business, correct?
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah, most
for the
creatives,
sake of argument, yeah.
most creatives are independent artists.
Right.
They are entrepreneurs.
But I think that especially with artists, we talking about dancers, singers, poets, right?
Cooks. You've had some of everybody on the what's the name?
Okay, so you talk about artists, just the whole plethora of that gumbo.
Well, maybe I'm getting this wrong. Wouldn't entrepreneurs be your population?
That's a great point. And let me finish off what you were saying before. We'll get to that. Finish off what you were saying before. Did I cut you off?
Yeah. Well, I think I cut myself off.
Because here's the thing, and that's a great question because shouts to my peoples at Waltrip High School, Coach Waller, Coach War. Mm-hmm. They've talked about audience before.
Mm-hmm. I think that's imperative. I think that's.
Do you?
I think that is pinnacle as far as where you're going. Like we've had conversations to say that men between the ages of 30 and 45 should be your audience because why? You're 35. And
okay. Well,
we don't want to discuss.
No. I'm just how. This is my wife, y'all. She just said I'm 30. No. She just said I'm 30.
Had a birthday.
No, relax. You got to relax.
My bad.
Really. She meant to say 31, Josiah. She meant to say 31, Josiah Richardson.
My bad. 36. Please forgive me. 31. Lord. 31. Like, yo, I can't keep up with the lies.
No. Keep going.
Okay. So, I think that let's just start with who you are. African American male, who is between the 36, but your audience could potentially be 30 to 45.
Right.
And in talking about being a creative, you can also hone in on things that you're going through in your life, like where you where you are, where you're going, some of your trials and tribulations, not just necessarily as a podcaster or but just as a black man,
as a failed actor.
As a lesson, we talked about L's or lessons as a lessoned actor. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think moving forward, episode 91 is, and hopefully people will give you back feedback, is figure out what your audience, and then from there, then you can branch out. Thinking about just off the top of the head, Issa Rae, Awkward Black Girl. That was a specific population. Black girls, natural hair, maybe dark, kinda, quirky. And so many people were able to identify themselves with that moment, especially with the whole, I'm transitioning from perm to natural.
But does that make girls that are natural, dark skinned, does that make them awkward because they're natural?
The stigma that comes with it. Like listen.
No.
We are in a process of rebranding ourselves as a people. Like so many times as my friends who have talked about how they've dealt with the difficulty of being a dark girl. So I'm not saying that because you are dark with natural hair that you're automatically awkward.
Right.
But I do believe that a lot of black girls, even myself, I'm not dark or as dark, but just going through the natural phase. Like I struggle with, dang, am I gonna perm my hair today? So
but the way you said it made it seem like because you're dark, because you're natural, the way you put not the way you said it, but
maybe
but
that's how you interpret it.
No, because the words I'm interpreting what you said.
Okay, so let's not interpret. Let's clear this up. I'm not saying that because
you shouldn't pair them like that though. The way you said it, and we can't rewind it right now because we're actually live. We're actually going with the podcast. But the way you said it, you said, okay, go ahead. Keep going.
Okay.
Keep going. Keep
So did I clear up the miscommunication?
I think I just choose to I choose to understand what you're saying.
No. I'm just saying, as far as finding your audience, you have to speak to them. And so with Awkward Black Girl, and I'm not limiting it to the black girl's color as far as being light or dark.
Right.
I'm just saying that there are times where we are going through transitions, or we're doing something in our lives, or maybe it's just who we are, that we could be a little quirky in trying to figure things out. And that's an audience that Issa Rae was able to speak to. And now look at her now. So I just think, to hone everything in, drive it home, find your audience.
Right.
Speak to your audience. I
think it was a couple more parts too, but I understand. I see. Here's the thing, and we were talking about that, but here's the thing. I remember saying, and quite frankly, I think that I thought that my audience would be the people that know me by JR.
Okay, you've said that a couple of times.
Right. Come to find out, that's not it. Right.
Okay.
And although I couldn't figure out an audience, you see how I didn't do that again? I just turned to the side. Is you okay?
I got you. But that's how you use. That's the flavor. Remember? That's flavor.
Yeah, no.
No. But
no. Right now, you're just doing that just to do it.
But that's how it's. Hold on.
No points have been made.
Hold on. But that's
no
how.
No points have been made.
But sometimes when I'm listening to your podcast, it was like, yo, why did that deserve an air horn? Because I'm not getting it. Like, the point wasn't. It was like, yeah, facts.
Oh my
factual.
God. Oh my God.
So that's it.
Okay.
I hope that you look back at this, and
I'm probably gonna still play it.
Yeah. What?
The air horn.
No.
But not
as much.
What I've done is I've just lowered it. I've lowered it.
Oh.
I've lowered.
That's a compromise.
I've lowered.
But what I'm saying is, I hope that you look back at this podcast and you smile on it, because it is. I think that it takes a big person to talk about your craft and to talk about the uphill that it takes to be able to appease people, to get people to buy in.
So to piggyback on that, Jay-Z had a line one time on the Blueprint that said, I'm a hustler, baby. I sell water to a whale. I can sell water to a whale.
Okay.
And when I heard that line in the midst of that Blueprint Stillmatic battle, which I believe that Stillmatic is still one of a better album to me, and a lot of people would disagree, but I took that line that a hustler can move anything,
okay,
anyhow,
okay,
with the right pitch. And what confirmed that for me was, I'm an independent artist, which you've been to every one of my shows, and I've managed to not only sell tickets for everybody, but convince people who are not involved, who don't really dig what I do as a creative, to come out and just watch me.
Okay.
Just give me, it's $20. Support the local artists. Come out and see me do my thing. And the reception from that has been like, man, I didn't know that you had chops like that. Now, again, people really don't know the difference between stage play and film acting. So, I take it. I just take the compliment, right? But I figured, if I can do that, right? And this is around the time where I'm just like, listen, if I can sell tickets like that, then I can convince somebody to check me out in my own lane. And so for me, that's kind of been my driving point, right? Now, I understand an audience is necessary, and I'm still working with that concept. But yeah, 30 to 45, not that it's not bad, but there's a lot of 30, 45-year-olds who ain't been through what I've been through.
True.
Who ain't married.
And that could be an inspiration within itself, because let's just say we saying 30 to 45, but it might be somebody. I'm not saying that you're not going to get individuals who are not within that age group, but for the most part, if you want the consistency, Like you have to speak to people and you have to speak to what they're going through or speak to where they're trying to go. And so therefore, that's just a microcosmic thought process in order to say, hey, what can you do to switch it up? And so without compromising your content, that's another thing. So being a creative is not, as you said, limited to entrepreneurship. Being a creative kind of just is fluid. So, yeah, I just
that's why I kind of, when I first started introducing that point where I wanted people to see. Here's the thing, I made the tagline up around episode 81, but around episode 27, before I went to LA last year, I said, Clint was like, you're losing people. And at the top of this year, I scrapped the whole video that I loved and adored.
wow.
Listen, when I listened back to episode 45 to see the direction that I wanted to go with the podcast,
this video,
I was like, I listened to it. I was like, oh my God, let me fast forward. So, 15 seconds in, you understand what the podcast is about. This is the What's Next podcast. You want to practice? Houston's #1 platform, and I really wanted to add in mobile podcasts. I
like you
as well.
speaking that into existence. Like
Houston's
you have to be able
#1
to,
platform
speak
where I
over yourself.
invite creatives to share their journeys and depict and give us a depiction of their visions.
But see, for me, let me say this. Also, it sounds so scripted.
It is.
Yeah. Like
maybe you know what?
My
and
head itch.
You know what? And it wasn't so scripted today because you kind of jumped in there. And
man, they should have heard me. I had something. It was so lit.
You kind of jumped in there, and I was just like, "Hold on, wait a minute."
Oh, I interrupted.
I'm starting the show now.
My bad. Oh, okay.
What song's on your mind?
Oh, what songs are on my mind? Oh, I want to pick something good.
Go ahead.
No, because I don't want to be judged. You be judging my
No, I
song
don't.
selection.
Come on, man. Yo, come on, man. Come on. What song's on your mind right now? What song's on your mind right now? What song's on your mind right now?
I'm not sure. You go first.
Man, I am the type of person who looks to support the people that I know are getting it, like I'm getting it, right? And I go to church at one of the biggest churches in the city. It's a Christian contemporary gospels record, sung by Hope City. It's called Over Again, and I remember watching Hope City from the computer when we were in the pandemic, the thick part of the pandemic, and I heard that run on Over Again and how Miriam carried that note, and I was like, what is the name of that record? Because I got to hear the record. So I've been asking my DP at church. And
y'all
DP,
online?
What?
DP. No, I'm joking. Joke.
I've been asking
joke.
I've been asking my DP at church what record that was, and she finally told me it's Over Again. We sang it in church the other day, and they created a music video that recorded the record, mastered it at a studio in the city, and it's coming out soon. That record, and I got a few other. I want to save the big record. My homegirl Demaria just dropped her latest album, Femme Fatale, and she's coming on the podcast later on. Maybe even if the top of the year to discuss the album. Dreaming on that album, and
listen,
and hold on, my man right here.
I've been playing these songs.
Episode 88, Committed. Hold on. Let me go right here because I don't want to go right here. Here it goes. This is how I did it for you, baby. I close my eyes like this. I'm ready, baby. I'm ready to be totally committed to you. you ask me, baby, I'll tell you. I'm totally committed to you. I'm ready, baby, I'm ready.
You missed that ad lib. Bro, you sound good compared to what we be singing at the house. Just trying to vibe. I'm glad you practiced.
Listen, I'm telling you, I can sing background for somebody.
You felt it. You had your hands
Listen, I
up
had
in
my
the whole
eyes closed.
position
It
that
starts
you
with the
ready to
eyes.
sing.
The eyes were closed. And so hold on. Let's see where they are in the record right now. Hold on.
You ask me, I'll give you my last name.
Here it goes. I'm gonna be off of it in a second.
Give you all my loyalty.
Shout out to my man. Shout out to my man, Echo Remix. Shout out to Ebony Ray. Here we go. I'm ready.
Oh, you only sing the chorus?
I'm ready to be totally committed to you. If you ask me, baby, I'll tell you.
I'll tell you.
I'm totally committed to you. I'm ready.
Turn this down real quick.
Baby, I'm ready. Hit the level. To be total.
This reminded me of when Martin was trying to be with Casey and JoJo.
Casey!
JoJo! It's like, bruh.
Nah, but listen. You gotta know your strengths, your vocal strengths.
Mm-hmm.
Now, listen. The music is loud in the club. If y'all need me to come and sing background and they got the music up, I can harmonize with the other background singers now.
Nice.
Come on, man.
JR.
Come on, man. Listen, I can do it. Now, again.
Now let me hear you out the music.
Come on. Why you listen, you know this is being recorded? Why you gotta put me on spot like that?
Listen, because you put yourself on spot saying that
background singers are not singing without the music playing.
I need to just be able to hear. Okay.
Maybe that's why he ain't invited me to be a background singer. Maybe it is. What about you? What song's on your mind? Did you get my songs?
No.
My songs are Over Again, Hope City original.
Over Again.
Dreaming by Demaria.
And
I'll play that soon, okay? And Committed by Echo Remix featuring Ebony Ray. Okay, what about you?
I kind of been on a little drought with music. I just asked
because you've been on a podcast.
Yeah.
I'm messing with you. Go ahead.
I just asked Dawn and Jamie. I was like, "Hey, what y'all listening to?" Jamie, of course, said that she's listening to podcast, and I was like, "Okay,
it's the new wave."
And then I can't remember what Dawn actually said, but I don't have a song. I can't think of one right now. I'm just not really feeling much of stuff that's coming out. Like, so I've had to listen to a lot of 90s R&B.
Why is that?
It's hard to appeal to someone who was 9 years old listening to Aretha Franklin, Betty Wright, Stevie Wonder, Marvin Gaye. It's hard to appeal to someone who was listening to true, authentic music when they were young, to where now it's mumbo jumbo and everything is kind of all sexualized. So for an individual like myself, it's just like, I'm not feeling it. You know?
No, I don't know, but I feel you.
Yeah, I was like 9 listening to Aretha. He's the kind of guy that'll say, "Hey, baby, let's get away. Let's go somewhere." And I was like, yes. And now that I'm an adult, you can't.
So what was she talking about in that record?
The song is called Daydreaming. And so the hook is like, daydreaming and I'm thinking of you. Daydreaming and I'm thinking of you.
But do you think that was had any sexual connotation?
Possibly, I'm sure. But I mean, the way that it came out, it wasn't just like beat it up. You know, like now it's so explicit to where some of the stuff is just like, you know, much for my ears.
Okay.
Let's see. I mean, Marvin Gaye was pretty
explicit.
Yeah, sexual healing.
Yeah.
I mean, but I guess the music behind it,
the musicianship.
I couldn't get that out. you know, the musicianship. So
you know,
you can give me a 70s, even 90s. 90s was lit, you know.
Not all R&B artists were musicianships or had, you know, D'Angelo, Maxwell. They played over instrumentals
Correct.
With bands and stuff. But for the majority of people, they, you know, it was sample loop,
Right.
sample loop,
Right.
sample loop. You know what I'm saying? But for me, I just think that it falls in line with everything else
Absolutely.
in society. People not ready for change.
No. I think that now music does not require a lot of work.
I don't think everybody should be introspective, and a lot of R&B is like that. Everybody's insecure. Everybody is talking about everybody's insecure.
What's the one thing that you could talk about in an R&B song?
Relationships.
And what else?
Sex.
No, love, fool.
Yeah, but I understand that, but you're not talking about love. When I see love, when I hear love like, okay, falling in love, or there's a possibility of love. But people not talking about that. People are talking about, you know, a relationship going bad because they had insecurities or they weren't.
Give me a song.
I'm not finna put nobody on blast like that.
Are you talking about like a independent artist, or you?
No, I'm just talking about them too. I'm talking about. Listen, I listen to. What I'm saying is that I hear a lot of people looking at the introspective part, right? And that's, you know, that I don't know, because in that introspection, you get a lot of the weaknesses in people, what people feel that they lack. You know what I'm saying? And I think that attracts a lot of people to music, like hearing the vulnerabilities in people.
Absolutely.
Right.
Because a lot of times, like, it speaks to them. Like, you just don't like some music because, I mean.
So you're saying a lot of people are insecure?
I think that it's only human. It's a human experience that everybody goes through.
Right.
So at some point, if a person writes a song about insecurity, whether you are 5 years old or whether you're 50, like, oh, it could speak to me.
Right.
So that's goes back to know your population. You know, a lot of people, I don't care how bad you are. I don't care how dapper you are. There's an insecurity somewhere. And it's not, you disagree?
I don't know. I mean, you know, if you feel, listen, I think that, I mean, yeah, there could be an insecurity there.
It's not, now look, I'm not saying that it's an insecurity to where it has you feeling low self-esteem, down, blah, blah, blah. But women, all the time, my weight, my hair, you know, men, my shoe size, you know.
What? Get it out of here.
Yeah, my shoe, I wear a size. Like, what?
My shoe size. Oh, my God.
I mean, cars. Men, okay, let's talk about men and cars. No?
I don't know.
And you know what? Men have become so fashionable these days to the point to where some of this stuff is like, you know? Some of this...
I know exactly where you're going with that, but I don't know.
If you know me, you know where it's going.
Okay.
Okay, come on with your podcast. What's up?
So today is November the 2nd.
Correct.
2020.
2020.
Tomorrow's election day.
Tomorrow's election day.
We have 59 days until the end of the year.
Okay.
What do you hope to attain in 59 days?
Oh, in 29 days. So I think that right now my life is in a transition. Kind of been in a transition for some time. And I feel like I'm in a good space. So for the next 29 days, I intend 59.
Yeah.
I intend on maintaining this peace that I have, because it's so hard sometimes to obtain, but it's so easy for it to be shaken. So that's just me personally, kind of stay in the vein of just chilling. I am working toward a few things at work. I've been a nurse for 9 years now.
Nah, Kizzie, come on.
No,
Relax.
wait.
I've been
No.
teaching for six.
7.
I've been at
I've been
Waltrip
at the
7 years.
okay, so I've been at the hospital 9, but I've been nursing
8.
Okay, there we go.
Probably 8. 2014 when you got a job.
No. You're the math man.
Yeah.
Okay, well, actually been feeling like forever, but we gonna go with
Okay.
Well, anywho, I'm at the point to where now that I've been nursing for quite some time, I want the validation of it, and it comes with the certification.
Right.
So last year I tried.
Yeah.
I took a lesson, not a loss,
Yeah.
because I missed it by 8 points. And so
God
my
bless.
encouragement to anybody that's, as I said to you, that's trying to stay persistent, stay consistent with it. Don't give up on it.
Right.
And so therefore, because I'm in a good space mentally, physically, emotionally,
Right.
I feel like I need to go back and obtain the certification.
Right.
So,
And you take the test Friday.
the 6th. Yes. So if
When
you're
you
out
when
there,
you became an AKA.
November
Congratulations.
6th. Yes.
Happy anniversary.
Shout out to a rare occasion.
Yeah. Happy
it was
happy
special.
anniversary.
Yes,
Duh.
thank you. That's where I am. I plan on doing that. And then of course grad school. Because I am ready to make steps into catapulting or, moving forward in my career. And trying to get off the bedside.
Right.
So in the next 29 days.
59, baby.
Why I keep saying
29 days puts us right in the new year.
Why do I keep saying 29?
I don't know.
Okay.
59.
59. 59. So,
Right.
And then, hey, that's all I can think of right now.
So this is when you say, well, what about you?
Oh, well, what about Okay, you're right. And that's one thing. If you come on the podcast, that's another thing. Sometimes, I know you have said that
Right.
you have to try to pull stuff out of somebody.
Right.
So if you're listening and you are creative and you get invited on the podcast, kind of be able to.
I want to talk about it because, like I said, episode like the 80s of the podcast were phenomenal. I think the 90s will even be better. And a couple things. I've never really asked people for, what's that word you used? You said it earlier. You said leave a comment.
Feedback.
I never asked people for that.
So the thing is this.
Let me tell you why I did that. So I met this girl.
Because you're an artist.
I met this girl one time. After the basketball game. We had a basketball game last season. So me, Coach Morris, Coach Babin, Coach Joseph, Coach Morris's wife, we all went to BB's, right? Mm-hmm. So I gave the card out to my homegirl, Anaj. She's singing now, right? Mm-hmm. And she was like, oh, I'm an artist. And I was like, yeah, well, whenever you get everything situated, come on the podcast, let's vibe, let's talk about your journey, stuff like that, right? She invited me to her show off West Tomer, like almost close going to A-Leaf, right? Mm-hmm. She did her show. And then she started asking people for feedback, right? And I'm not against that. But there was a gentleman in the crowd, a few people that was just like, yeah, you just didn't make me feel like this. And I'm thinking to myself, like, what? So I went to her and I was like, listen, I understand where you tried to go with that, but I wouldn't just open the floor because he didn't give any specifics. He didn't give any lyrics. He didn't say, you know what? I love this song, how you were talking about this. He was like, yeah, you didn't make me feel this and you didn't make me feel that. And I was like, listen, was she writing a record about you or was she writing a record that she felt to write?
So that's when it comes down to opinion because I kind of agree with him. Think about it like this. Think about it like this. As an artist, you are in the booth and you and you singing.
Right.
You got somebody out there who's saying, hey, let's run it back again. And then you even go even further to you have individuals who listen to it to say, no, this is missing. Give me this ad lib or we need another
different.
piece. No.
What you're saying is more along the lines of what I'm talking about.
The thing is this. What did I tell you about music?
Relatability.
Yeah, music is Stevie Wonder. Music is a world within itself. It's a language we all understand.
But what I'm saying is this.
I wasn't even finished with the part that I was going to get to about it's an opportunity. But anywho, music has to speak to individuals. Like, even gospel songs. Like, if you even listen to gospel songs, it's really not until they get into the ripples and the runs and the grunts and maybe even the vibrato of their song to where people are standing. Like, you still have to appeal to the senses. And the senses is, like, not necessarily the five. It's that one on the inside that it touches, like your goosebumps. And so that's maybe what the man was saying. Like,
no, that's not what he was saying. And I agree with what you're saying, that you do have engineers that say, hey, maybe you could stack it a little differently. Maybe your stacks are not clear. You're coming in at the wrong spot of your stack. Like you said, ad-libbing. Here you can ad-lib on that. What he was talking about was like, yeah, you didn't make me feel this and you didn't make me feel that. And I'm like, yo, listen, I'm a creative, right? So I sit and I look at the room, right? And I'm like, I'm looking at people's conversation. It's an experience I'm going through. So you can't tell me that my experience that I'm writing about, listen, that's what I say about creation. If it's not for me, it doesn't mean it's not for you.
But the thing is this, if it's for you, it could possibly be like, damn, this works for me, or this helped me. And I know my homeboy, he going through this. So let me go ahead and share this podcast and tag him and be like, yo, listen to this because this is for you. Like, so many times you hear that about like sermons, or you hear that about this is for you.
Right.
So the thing is, you don't know necessarily if she felt that was her audience. So it just, let's just drive it back home. Was that her audience? And then was it like, okay, because I believe that you guys are my audience, give me feedback so that at least I can touch y'all. And then the goal is eventually, hey, you know what? Let me share this. So my thing is this, open yourself up just so that you can see what people are saying. You don't want to be so into what you're doing to where you tune out everybody else. And I think that is sometimes where a creative can fail, is because they are so into their craft. I don't care what nobody say.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I don't care what anyone says.
I agree with that wholeheartedly. It's almost like, so prime example, when Clint and I were going back and forth, I remember I was talking to you and I was like, yeah, this and this, and you were like, yo, you're too emotional. And I was like, no, I'm not. But when I relaxed, when I calmed down and I read what he was saying, right, I started to, be more open to it. But then I really took it into consideration after he looked at the next one. And then he looked at the next one after that. Right. And then he said he looked at the next one after that. And even, see, with creation and being critical of that, you always have to start with love. You always have to start with love. You have to start with love. Because if you come at me, you're just like, well, man, I'm looking like, yo, you got to relax.
Furthermore, I would also say, as a counter argument, is as a creative.
As a counter argument.
Yes. You have to evolve. You cannot stay stagnant. You cannot not listen to the critiques or the feedback
of everybody.
Not necessarily your population, your core group, and the thing is this, I think that you have to find that.
Do you think that in this experience of going to that show, do you think that I was there because I was her population, or I came there to support her?
I can't tell what you thought, but clearly she felt comfortable enough with whoever that was there. She already had it in the back of her mind, I'm going to ask them how they felt about it. Yeah. So that's probably how she wants to go through her journey, as far as, hey, I'm going to write a song and I just want to give people, feedback on it. But at the end of the day, like, at some point, you're going to have to be open to, yo, how about you switch this up? Or yo, I like that. You know what I mean? Because you are in a business that you have to appeal to the masses. You're supposed to, like, yo, you ain't got it right
Nah,
yet.
you not.
Your etiquette is just bad.
Whose
Your-
etiquette?
Relax.
Relax.
That was legit.
You know
So,
the camera can see me touching your leg.
I don't care. You my husband. Shit.
Round of applause.
I almost said, no, you be touching. But anywho,
Oh man.
So
So you know that time limit.
yes, I'm ready.
No. We're gonna chop some stuff.
We're ready. So I just think that episode 90 is definitely a pivotal point because it allows you to be vulnerable. It allows you to discuss your feelings and as a starving artist. And now I understand even what it means by a starving artist. Yes, there are some people who don't have food, but you are starving for that success. You're starving to get to the next level. You're starving to get your product out there. And I think that this is pivotal in you moving forward. Understand, you may not get feedback. You may get all the feedback. But for the most part, you've had a transparent moment. And so with that transparency, you are able to say, okay, look, this is what it is, and this is where I'm trying to go. These are the things that I know I'm trying to do. So I'm going to just keep on trucking.
Just keep swimming. Yo,
dope, yes.
God bless. So with 59 days left, I'm coming up with a product that I think will round everything up in terms of like a product that can be purchased, a product that kind of sums up the so I want to be synonymous with the day Tuesday.
I think you should be giving out shirts right now.
Okay.
If I can be honest, I think that what the primary focus, and you might be like, yo, you just, you count my pockets or whatever. No.
I'm not against that. I'm not against that for the simple fact that I'm making money with T-shirts a different way.
Okay. So I think that at this point, like, also when I said that you have to evolve, you got to continue to rebrand. Now, there are some things that you're going to be like, no, I'm not changing.
Yeah, I'm probably not giving away T-shirts. I'm probably not doing
Well,
that. Keep going.
No, look, it's no sense in me.
Keep going.
Get your hand off me.
Keep going.
Get your hand off me. Y'all really about to see us for real.
Keep going. Keep going.
No,
keep going.
No, for what?
Keep going. You could. I'm gonna listen back to this episode a few times.
Well, I already said what I had to say. You just listen to that and then hey,
keep going.
No,
but with 59 days left, I'm working on something.
Okay.
This is how she is, y'all. She can dish it sometimes when you just, I'm not doing that. She just kind of cut off. Come on, wake up.
I'm good.
This is being recorded.
I am very mindful of that. That's why I think I'm doing great. Don't you?
Let it out, man. Listen, this is episode number 90, 45 episodes later. Can I get you back on episode number 135? Next year.
Sure.
135. What about episode number 100? I'm gonna drop that one on Thursday, December the 31st.
Well, that's the one that I did last year. Was December 31st.
Yeah, but this one is where that product is gonna be, and you're gonna be in the product too.
What is the product? Don't be.
I gotta talk to you. It's
don't be coming up with no surprises.
It's not a surprise. I'm gonna tell you about it, but not right now. It's still in the works.
Okay.
Most importantly. Are you ready to wrap the episode?
I'm ready. This has been a long talk. I'm ready.
Most importantly, the last question I'll ask is, what's next?
Okay. For me or for you? You go first. What's next?
Most directly, I have a real estate exam on Friday, the 6th of November.
Okay.
At 8:00 in the morning. God say the same. I'm coming out of there, ending this chapter. Ending this chapter of my continuing education, and I'm ready to make some money, and then start to re-strategize my steps. Releasing some of that money at Wall Trip and then HISD to move forward into this other venture to eventually come out of education.
Okay. So like I said, for me, I want this certification. And then start preparing for grad school. And just, 2020 has been a rough year. I make the joke, I feel like Game of Thrones was preparing us for 10 years to tell us winter is coming. And winter arrived in 2020. That's only if you watch the Game of Thrones. But I do believe that I plan on just reflecting the next couple of days coming into 2020, just to show gratitude and be thankful to God that He brought us through. Because if you do make it to 2021, it was not on your own. Facts. It's not on your own accord. So, in all things, give thanks. For this is the will of God concerning you. And so, the next couple of days, especially going into 2021, it is going to be an opportunity to reflect on the goodness of God. So I cannot leave the podcast without sprinkling a little Jesus up on it. You know what I mean? So
should have started off there.
Hey.
Because you never know. People might not make it to the end. But guess what? I know that you being on the podcast just brings the numbers out. Listen. And so, that episode 90, I had to have you on.
So I guess my speech is... with everything that's going on, get your house in order.
Go ahead.
Hit it.
Go ahead. Look, start it off.
I can't do it.
Get your house in order. Do it today.
Yo, where you going?
I
was going to hit the do it right away.
No. I ain't practiced in a while.
Okay, but anyway, so yeah, get it together. Whatever you subscribe to. Me personally, it's Jesus Christ. But whatever you believe in, lean into it because we don't know what 2021 is going to have to offer.
Facts.
But even in the rough times of 2020, God was still in the blessing business. He was still
in the business of giving blessings.
Yeah, passing them out. Just, so I know the 2021 was really rough for a lot of people.
Right.
But there was still things to be thankful for.
Right.
So,
listen, man, there's big boss moves going on now. What I mean by that is... Oh, my God. Okay. What I mean by that is, I bring creatives out of all forms, right? And I like to bless them with this exclusive SVI t-shirt, okay, with the stillvisionary.com/merch on the back, right? And so this is for you, okay? And the new edition in 2020 is the black SVI t-shirt.
I gave him official.
The black What's Next podcast t-shirt.
Okay.
So appreciate you coming on.
No problem.
We got big things popping. Episode 100 this year.
Big things popping.
We got 10 to go.
Stuff. Stop it.
We got 10 to go to get to episode 100. And I would have played the audio clip of me saying that in 45, God Is, which is now playing on SoundCloud, Spotify.
Oh, man. My mom was like, yo,
And
I didn't know you was all...
YouTube.
I didn't know you was into Kanye like that. I was like, yeah, that's my boy. And then, he tried to get on the ballot.
Remember, he ain't doing a gospel album now.
Oh, he did put out something. What was it?
Remember what you said last year.
What did I say?
You guys have to hold on.
Okay. No. What did I say?
I don't remember it per se, but let's see if I can find the audio here. Hold on. Before we wrap. Hold on. I'm sorry. I should have had this queued. I thought.
What, you think he backslid a little bit?
Yeah, Kanye Black.
I mean, who does it? Who does it? That's why you have the grace of God.
You know what? I'm gonna leave it there.
Yeah. That's what grace is for.
I'm gonna leave it there.
That's what Jesus did.
I'm gonna leave it there.
Can't argue that one, can you?
Cannot. I'm gonna leave it there. Houston, Texas, man. This is my lovely wife.
Yeah.
God bless the dead. Rest in peace to my baby boy.
Oh, I'm
John Ross Dike II.
Baby D.
We love you.
We love you.
This episode is dropping Election Day, 6 p.m. Central Standard Time, Houston, Texas. I do what I do for myself to prove that I can do it for others. Peace and blessings.
Yo, it feel like 95. Sachi on my body. Biggie, jiggle, puffy. I'm wildin' in my wallies. And them valleys, no Pilates. More weight, get you more wet. Nah, that's these Spumante. My crystal ball, I see crystal. I crystal y'all with that. I saw the sign like ace of spades. That ace of spades get cracked me like cheers to the money guys. The Willie niggas who buy them bottles. And then they spill these liquors. Yo, salute my dude. I see you, dog. 5 bottles, 1 gig. Why I need some drugs? I know I'm not a line. But love is shower time. You know it rose rain when your cloud is 9. Get off that high ass hustle. This is a private party. You know my dick too long. This is a private party. You gon' be nice or naughty. These walls on priceless Audi. This the upper crust. Fuck is up. Life is short. Overdose. Yes, we did it again.